Jack, I hate it. I hate it so much.
I hate it too.
I hate it
I miss
so
it. Also,
much.
it stops too abruptly, I think.
Yep.
I mean, the other one stopped abruptly too, but it sounded better because it was better.
Garbage.
It was better the way it was, I guess.
Plus, I got used to it. Dun, 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 dun. Connor says, "Are you able to change it?" I am going to now make us a 30-second countdown video because I hate that one so much.
Could
you
you just take a video screenshot of one of our old YouTubes with the old one then use it in as our intro?
Yes. I could honestly make one where it's a new video, but with that
use the song.
Yes.
I want that song. Pumps me up. It should be the new Tunnel Walk, I think.
It really should. It really should. Welcome in, everyone.
Yeah.
It's I-80 Live. Josh and Jack with you on this Wednesday. Take it in, folks. This is the last pod that I will ever record from this room. This is it. This is it. The bookcase is empty.
Oh, empty.
Yep. The fridge will not be in here anymore. The signage behind me will be gone because it's going to be a bookcase or bookcases. This is the last one. This is the last one, Jack. It's the end of an era. I've only ever done this pod, besides when I'm on vacation. I've only ever done it from this room.
Do you have a sort of sentimental... I mean, I'm sure obviously you're excited to move, but do you have a sentimental thing you're kind of sad about leaving this place? Or do you just dislike it that much?
No, I've liked it. I've really enjoyed living here. It's going to be nice to have more storage space. I very much enjoyed this apartment complex. We're so pumped to give Banks a backyard, and we're so pumped to give ourselves a backyard that we then can just let Banks out when it is 10 degrees on a January morning, and it's my turn to take him outside. That'll be nice. Absolutely glorious. Absolutely glorious. So yeah, this will be the last pod that I do in here. Jack will be doing the show with somebody on Saturday.
Still haven't made one bit of a preparation for that.
Yep.
And not to surprise you.
Yeah, that's why I didn't tease who I think it might be. And by the way, Jack, that person is doing my show with me next Tuesday. So the person that I'm guessing it will be with you on Saturday. So yeah, I'll be back next week on Wednesday. Otherwise, I will miss Saturday's show. Connor writes, Banks is going to love it. Yeah, we are so pumped. We cannot wait to give him a backyard. We're excited to give ourselves a backyard for Banks, but he's going to enjoy it. Just a place where he can run around. It's going to be glorious, Jack. It's going to be absolutely glorious. We're pumped. We can't wait. I just wish it was Saturday so we could, everything is packed that kind of needs to be, and then we have the other stuff that we can't really pack yet because we still have to exist over the next couple of days. I just want to start the process. I want to get to the end of the process, but I just want to start the process and get this thing rolling.
It's going to bother the hell out of it. I hope your new space fits my needs, I guess.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I hope the visual, I guess it would have been, I don't know. I think it would have been a nice gesture to the club had you maybe said it before you kind of landed on the deal. Maybe brought a little webcam over there and
showed everyone around.
Show just so we could maybe weigh in, I guess, a little bit. That would have been a nice gesture to the club.
You are my e-friends. You are my e-friends. So I guess I
would do that if I moved, but you don't have to, I guess.
Jordan, I'm sure you'll miss the internet. Yeah, Jack, that's one thing. We are upgrading our internet. It's going to be faster. It's going to be the same price.
Oh, good. I've tried not to complain when you've had problems, but that's because that's what friends do. But that'll be good.
Interesting. You know what's annoying is I had that. It was basically 1 week. It was right around the time when we had Dirk on, where my internet suddenly was shitting the bed almost every show.
But I don't count. I forget.
Okay. Interesting.
I throw it away. I don't think about that.
Interesting. Alex points out many liked the sink room. Yeah, that is not the house that we are moving into. Thankfully, there is not a sink in our bedroom except for in the bathroom. But there's not just a sink that exists.
Did you see or hear where I think my house might be guilty of your critique of that?
No.
Master bedroom.
Do you have a sink?
Well, we have maybe I said it on I think I said it in a chat channel in here.
Yeah.
So you go into my room and it's a U shape, but one side's bigger. It's the bedroom. Then there's my wife's closet. And then on the other side is the bathroom. Right. And there's the kind of the open, it's kind of like an open plan bedroom. So there's a bathtub, and then there's the sinks and the mirror, right there, and then there's a separate room that has the toilet and the shower.
And so it's kind of like the house that I found it. I was looking for the photo. I'm going to post it.
So I guess it could be, and it used to be carpeted all the way through. except for the toilet
Wow.
and shower.
All right. Well, take a peek, Jack, in a second over at your giant television that your chat is now on, and look at that sink.
I mean, the concept
Concept of a
it looks-
plan.
Whoa, where's the Creighton?
Oh, JB
basketball
is at
game?
the Creighton game. Oh, they're up 7-5. Is
Great
that
job.
how your bedroom looks, Jack? Are you living in a very similar layout to the?
Well, I can't
the
see the rest
master-
of the. I don't know. There's a thing that doesn't go up to the ceiling there. There's a lot happening on the right side
So
of that picture. Actually,
that right side is the closet. That is the closet in the bedroom.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know how to describe it any better. Like, you walk in a room, you can go in the right. You go to the right. There's our bedroom. You go straight. It's my wife's walk-in closet. You go to the left. It's a right to straight to the left. There's a bathtub in the corner, and then you walk. There's a sink there, and then there's a separate room in the very back that has different flooring, bathroom, a toilet, and shower. So
Very interesting.
Maybe. So
Wow.
I'd never thought of it as like problematic before, but I guess now I am a little bit. Is there a
Well, next
shower
time
in that room with the toilet back there?
Yeah, the shower is back into the left.
Yeah, to some degree, that's exactly what's happening with ours.
Interesting.
I think you can't see the sink from the bed. Is that the thing?
What?
You can't see the sink from the bed. Does that matter?
Yes, you can. In yours?
In mine.
Yours? That's probably a little bit better, right? Like, that's probably a little bit better.
There's not a wall that closes it, but
I don't know. I'm honest. I think I might need to see a photo of your master bedroom. Like, you don't need to share it inside of the I-80 club, of course. But I kind of want to see.
I'll just go.
What it looks like.
I'll just go snap some photos of the
Hey,
whole
you
thing.
said that you were disappointed that I didn't give the club a tour. Maybe you give us a tour of your home. I've been in your home before. I haven't been to many parts of your home. I'm still stunned that your basement is where I have hung out, because I'm always still a little confused in terms of like how it is set up now versus when I was there. It seems so wildly different from what it was like in the old days.
There is the area we hung out.
Oh, okay. So you are like right downstairs?
Yeah.
The stairs are like right next to you. Are they not?
Stairs
are they to
are
your
right.
left?
There's an unfinished part over there, but yeah, there's my
Wow.
furnace room is back there. There's my
Wow.
VHS TV.
Amazing.
There I've got a tablet with a mouse on top
How
of
does
it. Another
how does
TV
your
over
wife
there.
feel about you having your little studio set up right in this exact landing?
She doesn't
space?
come down here. She doesn't
Okay.
like this place.
Yeah, well, understandably so. That's so awesome.
She
God, that
doesn't
is
come
so
down.
great.
She comes down. I mean, it's kind of like my place. My son used to be over there like half the shows we did. when
Yep,
he
I
lived
remember
here,
that.
R.I.P.
Yep.
Playing video games like all the time. He would just sit here and like sort of half listen to the show and play video games, just trash the crap out of that area. I mean, there's pop bottles and
Classic
socks
teenagers.
and shoes and garbage everywhere. It's there. We got some crap down there now, but yeah.
Wow.
We got
Teenage
some
boy.
suitcases and sleeping bags out and stuff, but that's it's way cleaner than it's ever been down there.
Yeah, we've done Wang Nachos. And so for those who are listening or watching, rather, and just saw what Jack showed, when I first did the Jack Mitchell podcast back in the day, there's a door that he showed us that was beyond the couches. That we went into that room. And so, Jack, what is that room? There's the door over there.
Yeah,
what is in that room now?
Now it is workout equipment. My son worked out there a lot. I like to pretend I do.
Nice.
And there's a bench in there. There's a treadmill. There's a rowing machine. Over here, you can kind of see the top of it in the furnace room. Oh, you can't see it with this, but there's a speed bag over there and
Nice.
a boxing thing that my son used, and I like to keep pretending I'm about to use.
Hell yeah.
So we got a lot of workout equipment. We like to be in shape, I guess, as a family or something.
No, definitely.
So
Definitely.
I don't know. I don't really know. And then don't forget for people who people weren't here last night.
No, that was
only the
that was
board
just-
knew about
yes,
this.
You have to show this to the
So
all of the
my
subscribers.
laptop died. So
This
the
is so
normal
funny.
setup was to the right of me was just a regular laptop, a second monitor that I used to put the Discord chat on. It died.
Yes.
So I'm gonna probably have to get a new hard drive in it. And I
I don't think you need to, Jack. Keep what you got coming. Show
I
everybody
really
and keep this.
And so I was like, and then I realized I was like, we got a TV we put in our master bathroom up by the sink on the other side over there, and we never use it. I thought that would be a good idea, but nobody ever uses it. So I brought it here, and so it is now my new. This is my. So during the show, you'll see me occasionally do this. And oh yeah, Okay,
Great
Connor.
take.
Longer. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
D'Lo, excellent take, D'Lo. Keep the takes coming. God, that is so freaking funny.
So much. Yeah, it doesn't also look at the resolution it's supposed to, and
Yeah.
also it stretches too far on the sides, and so like I can't get to the very edges. Like I can't get to the little red circle to close windows
Oh my gosh.
on the Mac. It's pretty funny.
When you unveiled that last night, I lost my shit. That is so freaking funny, man. God, that is so good. And I just got a screenshot. Oh my gosh, that is so good. That is absolutely perfect. So yeah, that's what Jack that's what Jack does now inside of the Connor.
It looks terrible.
Oh,
it looks so
man.
bad.
Yeah, but hey,
and
I
guess I could just use this. I got this over here, and that now fixed.
what's that for?
Thanks to Matt, Mavs
What's
guy.
that for? Oh, there you go.
Usually I put games on over here, which I should do that. What do we got to have good basketball games.
Hey, did you see the buzz? Oh, you did see the buzzer beater. Jack, you made the joke that I almost made, and that was Scott Van Pelt being sad about having to go to work now after his.
Yeah, you retweeted it. That was why I saw it.
Yeah, so fun. Absolutely hilarious. Because for those who don't know, Scott Van Pelt, Maryland grad, huge fan. I actually was listening to him and Stanford Steve on their pod this morning, and he was talking about going to the game and how he's going to be wearing his suit because he has to do SportsCenter tonight. And and the first thing that I thought of after that was, oh my gosh, SVP now has to do SportsCenter like Jack does when he has to do after Nebraska ball.
Yep.
And he's miserable. And then SVP basically said the same thing. Though he came across a little happier than you do when you basically say, I don't want to do this. Come watch my stupid post-game show. It starts soon on YouTube.
I mean, it's a little harder to do with like ESPN, I think.
That's
probably.
true. That's true. Yeah.
So.
I hate my life. Come watch me. I hate my life. I hate my
life. Frick. Vanderbilt's going to beat Texas A&M. Way to go, Trev. We needed that. Man, you betrayed us a year ago, and now you do again. Unbelievable.
He's such a dick. By the way, Jack, if you want to watch Creighton and DePaul, that game is on.
Which I don't
Peacock.
aggressively.
It's on. Okay.
Wow. You say more things that make me not want to watch that. That sentence just created the greatest situation of not watching something in my
Ed
life.
Cunningham is doing play-by-play. I'm just trying to think of things that would make you.
That was really good. That was really good. Quickly. What's all Ed up to right now?
Oh man, hating football still.
I hope he didn't die.
Yeah, well, or get arrested. Yeah, let's just move on as quickly as possible. Yeah. Absolutely, as quickly as possible. Jack, I did something today that I know you despise, and that is responding to a tweet, and then everybody likes the tweet that is being responded to.
One of my biggest pet peeves, and it's usually it's not a lot of people.
Usually
pretty much you or Schaefer. It's you or Schaefer. More often Schaefer, but sometimes you.
Yes.
Or maybe occasionally John, but definitely you or Schaefer.
Now, in defense,
I'm doing some kind of an extensive, not jokey tweet thing.
Yes.
And then, or even maybe I am being jokey, but it's something that I think a lot of that I did. Sometimes I think a lot of what I do. Yep. And then Schaefer, you drives by with just a stupid comment, sort of half making fun of it. And then I watch that rack up the likes. What I originally did, and I'll just see another one come on, and I'll get so mad. And then I'll see people I know like it, and I'll get mad at them individually.
Yeah.
My social score for them will go down a little bit.
Wow. Well, in defense of me, Jack, this thing, this started when you said, because I did want to use this
picture.
I did want to use this as a. That's a good meme. Good job, Connor. I did want to use this as a jumping off point for a topic, but you tweeted. So if you assume that these teams are in, and you listed 33 teams, and then for some reason you wrote in parentheses COTD, cotted.
Continued. What that means? Continued.
I know you meant continued, but then you didn't come back to it for like 3 hours.
That's because
which was so funny.
Well, that's because I had to start my Medicare podcast, and
oh my god,
people got there early.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys know, I have a few other careers. I have like the I-80 club, but for Medicare. That's
hilarious. By the way, Keena points out that it's CONT''D is continued. You basically said Call of the Duty.
Oh, okay. Number one, I was probably down to 0 characters, so I was doing it as fast as possible, and everybody knows what I meant. So
Yeah. Anyway, so you did that, but then you just kept tweeting like 2 teams at a time, 3 teams at a time. So then that led to me responding with Jeff Daniels from Dumb and Dumber saying, "For God's sake, just give me the damn number." But which was funny. It was just funny. I did want to ask you, what were you exploring? What were you learning, and what does it mean for Nebraska basketball? And I apologize if Huss is in here. Huss, I promise that this will not be a total Nebraska ball pod tonight, but I did want to use this as a jumping off point into the sports before we get into some other things. What was the what were you kind of learning? What were you finding?
Number one, I put a link up to my Medicare podcast if anyone wants to.
Oh, awesome. I can't wait to check it out.
Feel free to dig in or have your parents.
Where is this at? Where's the link at?
It's on the chat.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no. I just text. How did text get up? Holy crap. I just texted the link. Whoa.
To who? Who did you send it to?
My mom, like a group text. How did that get switched? It looks exactly the same on this giant TV. Who did I text? Whoever was at the top of my... I don't know who it was on, but I just texted him a link to my Medicare podcast. It looked like my mom was on it, which she'll probably appreciate it, to be honest.
Honestly, Mom, you should probably check this out. Adam says Jack is good at technology.
I didn't send anybody nude pictures. It was just a Medicare podcast, so it's not that bad.
Oh my gosh.
But I did put it on the regular chat now, but there's been
there it is.
So many people made fun of me that it's gone way up to the top, but yeah.
Oh, that's good. Oh, nice. A podcast house media production.
Yeah.
What's up with Medicare? Wow.
What's up? Oh, well, we've got answers. Just wait.
How often do you do? Wow, Jack, do you know that this has reviews on Apple? Have you seen these?
Are they good? I've never looked at them.
It's 3.7 out of 5 stars.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, it fits.
You got a B-. Like, I'm not sad. I'm not really hanging off the light poles, but
yeah, sadly, there is no reviews. It's just all ratings. So it looks like a couple of 5 stars and then 1 star. So somebody really hates this podcast. Really hates the podcast.
Okay, well.
All right, I'm gonna check it out later.
You know what?
Yeah.
I just got a new mission in life. Find that person.
Find this person. Find the person who gave it 1 star.
We're gonna talk.
Hopefully, it's not your mom.
We're gonna talk.
Jordan, I-80 Live reacts to the Medicare podcast. This is why no one in local media is doing what Jack and I are doing with the I-80 Club. That's
exactly right.
They don't want to do this.
Can you tell Josh and I came in? Josh and I came in tonight. We were like, "What the hell are we going to talk about?"
Yeah, we very much did. Hoops, Jack. What were you doing beyond the Medicare podcast?
I wanted to know. I wanted to know like how many exact spots were in doubt.
Yeah, I love that photo of you. I'm gonna find later tonight.
Like,
so real quick,
if you could put different things on that screen,
the memes are gonna be glorious. Jack, when we record, we record our individual screens as well. That's how I create the thumbnails. Is I download the individual video files of you and I to get nice, clean ones. I'm going to get a clean graphic of you pointing at your computer, and it's going to be glorious later.
In that same way again, if you ever need it. It's
yes,
like
perfect.
I'm right here. I can do. I mean, I checked this.
Yeah. So Nebraska basketball.
So I wanted to know, is that large TV a touchscreen? No. Touchscreens were not invented when this thing was when it came out. Yeah. It is a Magnavox though, so brand name sort of. At least I think you could get those at Sears. I wanted to know like just how many spots are really still in doubt. What are the like just how much it is. And so I just wanted to narrow it down to the true size of the bubble and how many teams are contending for the bubble, like the very true size of it, like in detail. But so I went through that. And when I put the net rankings beside everyone, it actually looked pretty bad, to be honest. Depending on nobody's even paying attention to this.
Sorry. Real quick. So DC said it's the Medicare pod just called the 80 Club, and Alex said, I'm 80 Club. Welcome into the I'm 80 Club.
It's a new tier. We got the volleyball tier, and we got the I-80 Club, which will get you bonus Medicare podcasts.
It will get you a lot of benefit. Well, hey, we're
Featuring
looking
me.
to expand, right? We're looking to expand.
And that one's only $1 a month because
All
we
right.
understand.
I promise to pay attention. I promise to pay attention. Nebraska basketball. I promise. I'm 80 Club. Good Lord. Oh, Alex, that is hilarious. Wow.
That was
Wow.
hilarious.
Fight. My mom turns 80 in a month. I'll ever look into it. Oh, that's good stuff right
My
there.
mom's 75.
Oh, man.
Like that, so
welcome into the I'm 80 Club.
I think. I don't know. What do you want to know? I don't know what you even want to know at this point.
I don't know. So Nebraska.
I got it down where I basically identified the bubble, right? The how many things are spoken for and how many are not. And the way that I did it is I ended up with there being let's see. I got to go back to this whole thing. Yes, 10 spots left according to the way that I did it. From locks
10
to
spots are up. 10 spots are up for grabs.
10 spots are up for grabs for the bubble. And then I listed 23 teams that are on the bubble,
including Nebraska.
So, yeah, in order of any T or net, I don't ever know what to say. Those are VCU, Baylor, Ohio State, Georgia, Cal San Diego, which I did not know was a school. It's not San Diego University. It's Cal San Diego. It's like Cal Irvine. Texas, Arkansas, SMU, Vanderbilt, who just beat Texas A&M, so they are probably in. North Carolina, West Virginia, Cincinnati, Boise, San Diego State, Oklahoma, Xavier. There's Nebraska at 53. Indiana, Drake, San Francisco, Wake, George Mason, UC Irvine. I defined the bubble pretty liberally, but
Nebraska seemed like they were low, Jack.
Their net ranking is not good.
Yeah.
I mean, geez. But yeah, like some of them, North Carolina is that far ahead of them. They got a crummy record. University of California, San Diego is 37.
By the way,
Ohio State's still 35.
Wow. I just looked up the Cal San Diego team. They joined Division I in 2020. So that was their first year. They played 17 games in 2020, 2021.
That's going to be the team that Nebraska loses their spot to.
They made the CBI last year. And then watch, Jack, they'll make it to the NCAA tournament. They'll pick up a win, and they'll pick up a win.
Their logo looks like Arizona State.
Yes, it does. It does. Yeah.
Like oddly like Arizona State.
Very close. It's like the Georgia G and the Green Bay Packers G.
When they say, so Husker MU said this thing I've seen a million times. The net is used primarily for sorting and not selection. I don't know what the hell that means. Somebody explain to me what that means.
It doesn't. They're not pulling up the net rankings and finding the teams that have locked up auto bids and then just going, all right, let's find then the next, 35 teams, and let's just go straight off of the net rankings. They don't do that. I'm just saying they use it as one of the factors that they use, right? Correct. Yes.
Which is selection, right?
Yes, but it's a way to get data because the net is predictive. It's predictive. It's not resume based. It's like in a way the net is like betting on games. You could use the net to bet on basketball games if you so chose.
Okay. Nebraska beat the crap out of Ohio State, and Ohio State's 20 spots higher, so that's gone to hell.
That's true. Well, yeah, power rankings are not always 100% infallible, Jack.
Well,
yeah. So
nothing you said really helped.
I don't think I am helping.
Sorting by the way people are ranked. You mean? I mean, I don't like. What is that? What the hell does that mean? Everybody, I'm not picking on Husker for MU. I've heard that 20 people say that, and not once have I said, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." It doesn't. What does that mean? What does that mean? Sorting. Yeah. What, sorting? Do you mean ranking?
All right. Let me look up. So what is the question here? What is your question, Jack, that I'm asking?
My question is, what does sorting mean?
What does sorting mean?
For the purposes... Wait, are you Googling it?
I'm going to find out the answer to this question.
Well, I don't know that the answer's on Google. It's in your head, but it's not in your head.
It's not in my head. All right, let's see.
I still want to play the game they play on
Severance.
Severance.
Severed.
Yes, I want to play that. Whatever. Severed floor. Severance.
How are net rankings used? Since the net rankings serve as the primary sorting tool.
What the F does that mean? Everybody says it. I swear everybody says that and not a person knows what it means.
They play an important role in establishing a team's resume. A men's or women's team's ranking and team sheets will be provided on a daily basis. Using the quadrant system, I don't know. It's just putting them in the quads. It puts them in the quads.
I am reading the chat. I haven't seen one good answer. Puts them in the quads. You mean ranks them?
Yeah, but it sorts them into areas, Jack, where it's like you have the 1 through 30, you have the 31 through Connor. It's the net rankings. All right. Should we just eject on this topic? Who gives a shit, right?
You know what the AP Top 25 does? It sorts the top 25 and the not top 25, and that's why I like it. It's not ranking them. It's just kind of sorting them into two groups, right?
Yeah.
25 are better, 25 are worse, right? Yeah.
Dave did say it a couple minutes ago. I'm going to say scroll up. TLDR of every Nebraska ball bracketology discussion in the next few weeks. And then is it Dory? Is that her name from Finding Nemo? Just keep winning.
Yes.
Instead of just keep winning, Jack.
Okay. That's fine. I'm not sorry. That was a little too strong. I will dive. I will never just say just keep winning. I will dive into every scenario, every ranking for my own personal enjoyment. I will do I can't look at it like just keep winning because guess what? They're not going to. It's going to come
No, they're going
to
lose to Ohio State.
No, they're going to lose the game. It's going to come down to the end, and I want to have some expectation of what's going to happen. So, yeah, just keep winning is a fun thing to say in Lululand, but we don't live in Lululand. We live in Lincoln, Nebraska.
They fight Lululand. Population.
Yep.
Dave.
Yep.
Royals girl says quad 1 wins. What quads? Jack, I'm with you. So confusing. I can help out with the quads. The quads, I feel like I have a really good handle on.
Well, I mean, I know how you do it, but all it does is use their rankings to make quads. It's just
exactly. But again, so that is what they are sorting. They are rather than Jack saying like this team has 5 top 10 wins on the year, right? Like that would be a ridiculous number of top 10 wins. It sorts games into these boxes where if you beat a top 30 team at home, that's a quad game. It goes to 50 for neutral and then 75 on the road. But when they
do that with any ranking.
Sure, but they use their own rankings.
Well, they're applying the quad thing to it, which in itself, I get what that is, but they've got to have a ranking, right? You took the reservation. You didn't hold the reservation.
Hold the reservation, yeah. All right, well, so there you go. That's college basketball. And you know what, Jack? I'm kind of worried that college football is getting closer into being in this weird little area as well, where it's just like, let me look at their team sheet. You want to talk about a thing, a word, 2 words together that I despise?
Team sheet?
Team sheet. I don't give a shit about a team sheet.
Is that a thing?
Yes.
Do they print those off?
John talks about team sheets all the time. He loves team sheets.
Let's look at the Nebraska team sheet.
See, this is going to have sorting mechanisms.
Can I just Google that Nebraska team sheet? Here it is. Warren Nolan. Let me. Maybe I can share my screen here and show you the Nebraska ball team sheet per Warren Nolan. Okay, here we go.
You could also take a screenshot, and we could have it it could look a lot better.
I don't want to do that. Hold on. I got an ad. Okay.
Oh. There you go. Wow, that looks great, everybody. Yep, it doesn't look tiny and horrible.
I could move it over to my bigger screen. You guys may not have that. There's what it looks like. Okay, I can make it a little bigger if you want.
That's the team sheet. I hate this crap. I hate team sheets. Nebraska's perfect in quad 3 and quad 4.
I don't even know what to look at. Where do I even look first?
I don't know. Look at the quad 1. Tell us about quad 1.
Now,
Jack.
you know what a sorting mechanism is? It sorts things out.
There you go. That's what the net rankings do.
It's like a mail sorter. That's a sorting mechanism.
There you go. And that's the net rankings. Jack has shown us the net rankings now.
Man, that migraine pain relief looks good.
Look at all these ads. Hopefully we're not going to get pulled from YouTube for taking all these
over
ads.
Over here, we got makeup remover. Over here, we got migraine stuff. Down here, we got, what is that? Is that Cialis or Cibaglias? It's like Paxlovid. All right.
That's team sheets. Wow. There you go. Let's see. Adblock Plus says Kina. All I see. Flag of Ireland.
Oh, I'm supposed to run some ad blocker thing too? Jeez.
Oh, it's okay, Jack. You're trying to help out the common man. You're trying to help out the common man. By the way, if you're listening to this podcast live or at a later date rather, and you're still here and you're hanging out for free, God bless you, first of all. Also, if you want to get pods ad free, go to patreon.com/I-80 Club. $5 a month gets you access to all of our episodes. $8 you get access to the Discord server as well. And also, you can very much join the growing community that is Volleyball State, which continues to pick up subscribers at a very solid clip. We would love to have you. Again, patreon.com/I-80 club. And you too can see Jack's television. As Jordan, did you see the new meme? This sorting makes no sense as it's you pointing at your TV. God, that is going to be so damn funny. God, that's going to be good.
Hey, did anyone listen to the new coaches today? Did anyone listen to Da'Keel Shorts?
Nope.
Did anyone listen to Phil Snow?
Nope.
Wait, why did you not? You have a show to talk about this.
I know, because it wasn't.
Don't care about assistant coaches now. Wow.
No,
sad.
Settle down, Jack. Settle down.
You're gonna have takes for days on these guys in about 3 months. What happened? Wow.
Well,
what gives?
I was busy today and I did not get a chance to check them out yet. I'm gonna check them out tomorrow, though. I'm gonna listen to the interviews tomorrow and see if we learn anything. So sadly, if we want to do a take. Here, I got nothing for you. Husker for you. Jack's gotten so desperate that he's talking coaches. Yeah. Bruce says, how come Eckler didn't talk today? He's talking. Wow. He's talking at a later date. They had Mitch and Happer went through the entire list of coaches on their pod this morning. All the coaches are talking. All the new coaches are talking. It's just over the course of days or something. I don't know.
Maybe should I read some of the? Should I dramatically read some of the transcripts or something on this?
Not a bad idea.
Is that what we need?
I know the question that Happer and Mitch both had was about Phil Snow. They both made Office Space jokes. And Odson made one, too, of what would you say you do here? People love that joke. Except for John Bishop because he's a turd.
What would you say you do here? Mm-hmm. What is his title? Assistant defensive coordinator?
No, defensive I don't believe
coach emeritus?
Phil Snow is Nebraska's associate head coach. He is associate head coach.
He doesn't even have the word defense on him.
No, so he oversees everything. And he did say today that it is, I guess I saw something. He said this is Butler's defense. It is not my defense. This is John Butler's defense. Dave Fight, assistant to the regional defensive coordinator. Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
Adam, assistant to the defensive coordinator. We're all making office jokes. Big fan.
Phil Simpson is a giant man. Wow.
Dude, I had forgotten that he was on Nebraska's staff. Oh, yeah, he's a big dude. I forgot that he was on Nebraska's staff a couple of years ago. Did you remember that he was on?
Do you think hell no, I don't remember that.
Why would you know?
I don't know. I couldn't name the assistants now. Who cares? But wow.
Mark says hopefully he can help with time management. Yeah, that's something that they definitely are going to need.
Simpson, ultra strong ties to the Miami area. Ooh, that's good. Been doing
he was a reason why they were able to land so many of those Florida guys for the 2024 class. Then he went to Florida State, and then he came back to Nebraska, as a lot of Nebraska people went down to Florida State.
Interesting.
Dave, Snow throwing the DC under the bus from the jump. It's his defense, not mine. Yeah, that's great job by him. Oh, this wasn't mine.
Yeah, is there going to be something weird there? With the whole defensive coordinator, all of that. Is there going to be something weird there with Phil Snow?
That's a good question. That's a really interesting question. How about this from Adam? This news must have just came down from Pete Thamel. Nebraska's hiring New England Patriots front office executive Pat Stewart as the football program's new general manager.
Wow. 4 schools did that, hire general managers today. Is this like a deadline or something?
I don't know. I don't think it's a deadline. I'm looking up, by the way, Jack, I'm reading a couple more things from Thamel. He brings it both a front office background and 17 years as an NFL scout.
Ex-Carolina Panthers VP.
Oh, interesting. He also worked for the Patriots for 10 years from 07 to 17 as a national scout with the Eagles in 18 and 19, and then he was in Carolina from 20 to 23.
He's and he worked buddy for the Panthers.
How about this, Jack? He worked with Rule at both Western Carolina and Temple early in their careers as well.
Wow.
GMs in college are so fascinating to me.
Yeah, they don't even – the only thing I'm doing as a GM is messing with trades, offering trades all day long.
And you can't do that in college football.
So –
you can't do that in college football. Oh, hell yeah, Mark. Nice pull. Bring back Billy Devaney. Yeah, remember Billy Devaney, Jack? Yeah, it's Nebraska's GM in the Mike Riley era.
The reason I said that is because somebody hired one of the other old GMs of Nebraska today. Who was it? I saw it on Twitter, and I can't remember either who did it or who it was. So it's a great story to tell you guys, but I can't remember. Somebody will remember it.
Connor says NIL and rev share, baby. Yeah, Jack, this could lead. As this show's been so goofy and all over the place, this could lead to an actual discussion. Did you see the story with Georgia today? Because I do think Connor is onto something about what could a GM do. Well, as rev share comes into existence, schools are going to have to figure out how to divide up the amount of money that they're spending, not only for sport by sport by sport, but then inside of a sport, they're going to have to decide how much to give the quarterback, how much to give the backup quarterback, how much to give the starting running back, how much to give the starting edge rusher, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Did you see the story, though, about Georgia and how they are going to be divvying up their NIL?
No, how are they?
Okay, so Georgia, this came out earlier today. I want to give credit to the newspaper, Online Athens. What paper is this? Athens Banner Herald. So the Athens Banner Herald, they unveiled their plan for the $20.5 million. Football players are expected to get $13.5 million. Men's basketball players about $2.7 million. Women's basketball players about $900,000, and then other sport athletes will get the remaining of that. I'm going to pull up real fast the percentages of this because John actually broke it down in terms of how much this is being divvied up. Here we go. So, Jack, of the $20.5 million in rev share, the football program at Georgia is going to get 65.8%. Men's basketball is going to get 13.2%. Women's basketball, 4.4%. All of the sports combined, 16.6%. All right, so what does this mean for Nebraska? I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, and I asked them this very question. Do you know what Nebraska's rev share number is going to look like? And I was told $16 million for their rev share, which is much higher than what Georgia is doing, and it's a much higher percentage of the 75% that it sounds like a lot of the heavy hitters are going. I did see your tweet about that.
Okay, this is where I saw that. Now I remember.
Yeah, so bringing in a GM, as they're prepared to get ready for this new era of college football, I think that is going to, play a big part in terms of, what this guy's job is going to be.
But again, we still don't know. So a GM's job, obviously in the pros, right, is signing free agents, making sure you got
contract
the
negotiations,
all of those contract negotiations,
cutting
drafting,
yes.
trading,
yes.
cutting
yes.
players, that kind of stuff as well. It's similar, but still very different for what you'll be able to do in college, right?
Well, yes,
it's
because in
still
college,
a very different job.
Yes, I mean, especially in terms of high school recruiting, right? Look, money is involved, and you can offer them money, and so, free agency, Jack, is certainly a recruiting thing. I'm the Dallas Cowboys. I'm trying to sign this player. I'm trying to compete with the Philadelphia Eagles. Here's what my offer is. Here's what their offer is. Can I do better than that? College has always been more about wanting to go to the university and wanting to play for this coach, whereas now it can definitely be much more about the bag and how much a school is offering somebody. So, yeah, as it moves into more of a pro model, I guess you're going to need a GM to handle a lot of those things. It does make sense. It's just kind of wrapping your brain around how exactly it's going to work.
And the question is, who was doing that with collectives and NIL,
What do you mean?
I still want to know who was... I still do not understand, and maybe you all do, so maybe I'm in the dark in this thing, but the equivalent of in NIL, how far will you go to offer someone? Who will you offer, right? Who's a priority to offer to? Where, if you need to go a little higher to get someone with a collective as it stands now, as opposed to revenue sharing within the program, who is making any of those calls? Who is doing those evaluations? How does any of that work? I still have zero idea on that.
It's a great question. In 1890, they are allowed to talk to the coach, right? So Matt Rule is able to have conversations. This is not all wink, wink, nudge, nudge with one coach and one NIL collective or whatever. Fight asked a question that I think is a good one. He says, stupid question. I would say, no, it's not a stupid question because some people don't know this. Is rev share essentially a salary cap? In other words, every school starts from the same lump amount, but they determine what percentage goes to each sport. Yes. Now, at the end of the Biden run, and we're sticking to sports, right? We're not getting into politics. But at the end of the Joe Biden run, was it the Department of Education, Jack? They put out
Department of Education said, according to Title IX, that the interpretation of this was going to be that there had to be equal money spent between the sports, right? Between the genders.
Yes, and I believe they put that out in December. It was right before the new year that they put this out. A lot of people said there's no way in hell this is going to hold up, and there's no way in hell that it's going to be followed through when the Trump administration steps in. I never bought that was going to be the case, because how it seems to be now is how I always thought this would be. Long story short, the Trump administration comes in and they say, no, we're not doing what the Biden administration recommended. We are going to do what we were always planning on doing, and that is saying rev share is not tied to Title IX. Rev share is it's revenue. This is money. This is, what job do you do? That job is worth this. What job does this athlete do at this sport? Well, it's going to be worth less because football is more valuable than tennis. It just is. And so to go back to the question that Dave had, and he has a follow-up, in theory, Nebraska, with their lower cost of living, could be a winner, as $100,000 goes a lot farther here than it does at USC. And that is 100% true. Nebraska gets to decide how much of their revenue sharing goes to football, to men's basketball. I know that we have Sheldon hanging out in the chat tonight. One thing that I am ultra curious about, Jack, is Nebraska and their love of volleyball. What does the volleyball rev share number look like compared to their contemporaries? Because I have to imagine that we here in this state care way more about volleyball than, like USC, for example. I mean, hell, even Wisconsin with all of their success.
Or into these SEC programs, most of the SEC programs, that are big on football, right?
So that should end up being a huge positive for Nebraska. And then the other thing, Jack, before you go real quick, I got the Creighton game on. Creighton does not have football. They have the same amount of money. In theory, they can spend up to $20.5 million a year on their sports. Jack, what if they decided 75% of our rev share, 15 point whatever million, we're going to just go to basketball? They could pay players on average $1 million a pop if they wanted.
And if Georgia is doing as little as they are on basketball, and you assume other football schools would do something similar, I put Creighton in a way better spot if they can.
100%.
They can do that. Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, there's the $20.5 million cap on everybody, but not it's not per sport or anything like that. Which I hadn't even thought about that. But that's a really interesting question. If you don't have football, where all of it or the vast majority of it is going to be pointed toward, what does that mean for you? What does it mean for, there's a whole lot of schools you can think of with that, where that could happen. Yeah. So most of the Big East, frankly.
Yeah. Alex says, that Creighton going to do $20.5 million. I'd be stunned by that, Jack. It just seems really difficult given that they don't have football money. They don't have football television revenue to offset it like Nebraska. Nebraska can afford $20.5 million. I don't think that Big East schools can. It just seems really, really hard. Bruce says, man, this whole thing seems so fucked. Jack, would you agree with that assessment of rev share and where things
any
are
more than it was before? Now, I mean, the last couple of years, I don't know. There's about to be the wildest. Texas A&M is going to try and make one of the most insane. Remember about 15 minutes ago when I was complaining that Texas A&M was going to lose? Yeah. They're about to take a shot to tie the game here with 0.2 seconds left. Oh, it didn't happen. They lost. Never mind.
Royals Girl says, okay, my stupid question. Is it just $20.5 million and the rest of the NIL collective money won't come in anymore? Another not stupid question.
No, it's a great question.
Yeah, NIL, Jack, is going to very much exist. I will go back to the sourcing that I had on the rev share stuff a little bit ago, but that same source told me yesterday, and I posted this in the chat earlier, that Nebraska football, with the $28.5 million and then the 16 going to the football program, they want that number to climb above 25 million. The number that I was told was 25 to 40, which I'd be very surprised if they could do an extra $24 million in NIL a year, but they definitely want to get above 25.
Man, if there wasn't already pressure as a parent and as a young athlete to try and get yourself a place in a college roster, can you imagine now that you can just getting on that roster can change your life?
Change your life
financially. In the past, that was never true, obviously.
Yeah, in the past, it was change your life because you can get a degree and maybe you can go pro. Now it can literally change your life.
You just got to get in there for a few years.
Yeah, for sure.
That's crazy. But yeah, it's my understanding too. And it is interesting, like, what are they... Is the stated reason for the rev share, is it NIL or is it truly just revenue sharing? There's no NIL purpose to the rev share, technically, is there?
What do you mean?
The way that it's explained? Well, what are they? I guess what those payments, what are they for? right? Is there a stated
rev share, like
in the
true
rev share from
share?
the universe, the payments from the university to the players? Is that in
It's pay
part
for
or to
play.
some degree? It's not about okay. Or are they stating that it's about NIL? Is it just
No.
sort of like grouping everyone's NIL rights all into
No.
one and then paying them out?
It's different. Rev share is different than NIL. Rev share is going to be directly from the university. They're not going to call them employees. They really don't put it on the internet
I know
they're employees. But it's separate, right? So like, yeah, Connor says it's straight up cash compensation. Dylan Raiola is going to get paid by the university to be the quarterback at Nebraska. You know,
I understand that. Yeah. Okay.
So I guess what am I missing then? I'm trying to.
Well, no, maybe you answered it. Maybe that's the answer. So I was of the belief that somehow they were also saying that was at least partially related to compensation for the university using name, image, and likeness of these players. Sort of like they group negotiated these rights and they're paid out, almost like collective bargaining, essentially.
I see what you're saying. No, it's not that. And I can't remember exactly how they landed on the $20.5 million. Maybe somebody in the chat can help us out with that. But basically it was like, lawyers got together or whatever and figured out that, yeah, they're owed about $20.5 million. Fight asks, oh, sorry.
I was going to say, but to go back to Royals Girls' question.
Yeah.
So separately, a collective could make an individual deal with a player or broker an individual deal with a player where their NIL, they're using NIL, they're putting their name behind it, whatever. They can do a separate, still individual deal beyond the rev share, right?
Yes.
For individuals. That's the answer to the question, right?
Yes. And so that's how the number climbs to $25 to $40 million is that they're still making money on the side from collectives or from actual endorsement companies, right? Like I'm doing a Nike ad. Like that's how you get those numbers.
Right. Okay, go ahead to the next.
Yeah, Dave asked, question for Lawyer Jack. If payment comes from UNL, will those amounts be public record? Is revenue sharing open to
That's a great
you and I
question.
being able to find out how much Dylan Raiola is going to get paid?
Well, if they were
love finding out how much money,
it would be,
and they won't be.
But
that's the thing, right? They will not be employees.
But I would guess it may not be as public. Like I can find out just with a search how much anyone at the university makes.
Yeah.
I wonder if
Jack, how do they skirt those rules? Are these 1099s? Like are these contracted employees? Like
they're contracts, but I assume they would still be at least accessible with a FOIA or something like that.
Yeah. Because, like, I do stuff for Creighton, like I'll announce women's basketball games. I get paid by Creighton. They're a private university, so maybe that's a hard one to ask about. If Creighton was a public university, Jack, could somebody ask them how much they pay me to do?
I think so. Yes.
So that's even though I am not a full-time employee.
Now, it wouldn't be unlike the so the employees. There's actually a website. Usually at Nebraska, I know. Sometimes I Google people or I search people who I know work at the university. I'm like, how much did they make? Kind of curious. You can do that.
Topic alert.
But not every contract that the university signs is available through an existing website. But I would assume that any university contract would be public record if you request it. And so they'd be subject to public records laws. And that would, I assume, again, this is a lot of assuming by me, but I don't know why that would be any different than any other university contract or payment. It's essentially it's a settlement, but any other settlement a settlement dictates the terms, I guess, but it's essentially a contract. It's an agreement between the player and the university itself. So the answer is yes, I think. That's my guess. I don't know why it would be different.
Well, so in terms of player compensation, I never care what they're making, except for how it affects the salary cap for me as a Dallas Cowboys fan, right? And like, are you using the cap to your absolute advantage across the board? But otherwise, I don't care. That said, Jack, I know that there are a lot of fans out there who do not operate like I do, and they want to know what Dylan Raiola is making so they can get mad at his salary when he struggles and throw it in his face. And so this will be, if you are right, that is pretty fascinating. And how that ultimately lands with all these players. And of course, then what it means for the locker room is something else entirely. But how the fan base deals with it, how the players deal with it, how the coaches, how the new GM deals with it. All of that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there are still so many freaking questions out there that are not completely settled and answered. First of all, they still haven't cleared the settlement, right? It still there still could be roadblocks to that, but yeah. Keena says, I want it to all be public so the kids can't get screwed over on deals. Yeah,
for sure.
But you're right, Josh, when people, I mean, it when you know how much they're getting paid, it still shocks me though, to honestly, how much the NIL stuff and amounts and all of that and the terms of the contracts have stayed for the most part kind of behind a veil.
It really is wild.
Like, it's crazy to me that there have not been, I know there have been occasionally a few pieces here, a few people who say things, but the amount that collectives all over the entire country and universities and players have been able to keep that behind a veil for the most part to the public is honestly shocking to me.
Yeah, there was the story on Nico, the Tennessee quarterback, a couple years ago from The Athletic, and I think that was like an $8 million contract over the course of 4 years, and that one came out because The Athletic got the actual documents. There have always been whispers about what Dylan is making, but no one has ever gotten or if they've gotten a contract, no one's ever sent it out. Here's a weird thing that John and I actually never ended up talking about because we recorded a segment and then it was the day of the John Cook stuff and it ended up never airing. John and I had a discussion about NIL. I don't remember why. I don't remember what the background was, but I have had NIL, not contracts. I had a document sent to me one time for a local basketball team in this state and what each player made individually. I think I might have told you that off the air one time.
Probably.
But I could see, here's what the starting point guard makes. Here's what the starting power forward makes. Here's what the starting center makes. Here's what the backups make. I saw it was like a multi-page document. Now, I'm not a reporter and I don't care. Like, I'm not going to, there was no reason for me to be like, hey, here's what these guys are making. It doesn't matter to anybody. But you are right. It's a stunner that we are now, this was the 4th season of NIL, 21, 22, 23, 24. There's still really not a whole lot out there in terms of like concrete contracts. Here's what it looks like. And in theory, I guess what's about to happen is going to change a lot of that.
And by the way, there's got to be so much freaking misinformation out there. If I were trying to negotiate anything, I'd be throwing out bullshit everywhere all the time on this.
Yeah.
If you're anyone in this whole thing, any side of it, the player, the school, the collective, the agent, whatever, you got to take advantage of the lack of information out there. I mean, a whole bunch of people probably like it, how chaotic that it is, because you can basically make it gives you a whole different way to negotiate than you could, for instance, in the professional leagues where you know where everything actually stands. But that's wild. That's crazy.
There was a story today from On3, I believe, and it was, let me find it real fast. It was basically a bunch of behind the scenes. It was about tampering. And there were staffers that were talking about how they will talk to each other from other schools to find out, like, hey, is this offer real? My player told me that you guys offered him $200,000. Is that real? And the coach would be like, no, we offered him half that. And so they're actually conversing with each other to figure out what's going on, because sometimes the players are lying, and then obviously sometimes the schools are going to lie too.
Right. Like, the big question I still have is to continue to pay these ridiculous numbers. I say ridiculous. That might be an unfair thing to say, but like somebody said, a BYU player's getting $5 million, right?
Yeah.
To be able to do that, there has got to be, at some point, some kind of a return on investment for someone.
Well, there is.
Directly financially.
But there doesn't have to. Okay, what does Jerry Jones get for paying Dak Prescott? What does he get for him? Why does he pay him?
Well, I assume the numbers.
He pays him to be a starting quarterback, right?
Right, but I assume having a team there, you're talking about a different level of income that goes along with that for a pro team.
True, but like, does Dak bring in the income, or just like the the team exists and that brings in the income. And
I mean, there's certainly a part of it in pro sports.
Right?
We've certainly seen owners over the years who don't care about winning and just care about making money. And so they don't invest, especially in baseball. We've seen that plenty. But still, like, I don't know. It feels like at some point it'll dry up. And I thought this was eventually going to happen in the collective world. And now they're going to kind of tweak it. And so that kind of resets things. But at some point, whether it's donors or whether it's universities, and I think maybe even more so than pro teams, because Josh, sometimes a pro team is just run by somebody who's got a lot of money, who's financially okay, and they just want to win, right?
Yeah,
we've seen that before.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the return on the investment. Why does Dylan Raiola or any quarterback make what they make? Because they're the starting quarterback, and that's what the market demands.
But what I'm saying is that you don't have an owner who's independently financially wealthy that is running any of these teams. You got a university system. You've got a collective that is there, right, for whatever their purpose is. Exactly. You've got donors. Maybe you got some donors out there at these places, right? That's all they want is their team to win, I guess.
They want their team to win. The return on their investment is success on the football field. They don't need cash compensation. And I mean, Dave hit on it too. He wrote EGO. Dude, how much of it, Jack, is just like they get to say they do it. They probably get perks, right? Whether it's a suite or good tickets. They certainly get to hobnob around with some of these people. But what do they want? They want their team to win. And so if they can throw $1 million at a quarterback and their quarterback delivers whatever level of winning they're hoping for, it's worth it. The Ohio State fans that contributed to the $14 million, or $20 million roster this last year, they got what they were bargaining. Now they lost to Michigan, but they won the Natty. So it was all worth it in the end for them.
And okay, let me ask a question. Let's say you are wildly rich, right? Like you had hundreds of millions of dollars, $100 million, right, in assets.
Nice.
How willing would you be to do that if you were a fan of a college team, to continually plug that money into that for the purpose of winning?
See, it's hard to answer because I want to say no, but how much of that is me covering this stuff and thinking, like, I don't know. I also think it's weird. I don't know. Part of it is I think it's weird. But I don't donate to Nebraska, period. So like, why am I going to do this? But maybe if I'm making $100 million, if I have $100 million, maybe it's different.
If you've got enough, but by the way, there's not that many people. There's not that many people connected to the University of Nebraska who have $100 million. We're talking one hand, okay? So like,
yeah, for sure. And one of them doesn't donate to the football program.
Right. So like, there's not that many. You're talking about all these schools. There are going to be plenty of schools that don't have that person, right? Who just has so much that they can do what they want, even if it's a bad investment for them personally.
I'm guessing you're the same thing. I'm guessing you're the same. You're not going to donate. If you have $100 million, would you pony up $5 million for a roster?
It would almost feel, I don't know. I say this now. It's impossible to tell what I do in that scenario, but like, there's a part of it that just feels like there's a part of you. I know what would motivate me to do it. It would be competitiveness with someone else doing that same thing with another school.
Interesting. So it'd be another individual in your life, not a school you'll
be like, oh, Oregon's got Phil Knight doing this. Well, guess what? I can do that too. Yeah. Right. That would be, I think, what it would be about for me.
Almost pettiness in a way.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that, like, if I put myself in that position, multi-millionaire Jack, I think that's what it would be. Is like, screw it. There's somebody in Iowa doing this. Mm-hmm. Oh, they think they can buy this thing. Well, guess what? Here I am. I will exhaust you with money.
I mean, part of it, Jack, a lot of people will say, I would do anything for my team to win whatever. And I would pay whatever to make my team good. Like, that's what they're trying to do, right? In theory, they're like, I will literally pay this. NIL 1890, here is money. I literally am putting my money where my mouth is.
How would you feel as a fan of Nebraska if, for some, I don't even know how to set up a scenario like this, but for whatever reason, Nebraska had access to more money than any other university significantly, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say there's a Powerball winner and they're like, I'm donating it all, right? Directly. I won Powerball. All I care about, I'm in Lincoln. I won $850 million and it will all go. I'm going to earmark it straight to the University of Nebraska.
Jesus Christ.
I don't want anything else. And so your team, and so Nebraska has NIL at the wazoo, and they find every way to utilize that in ways that other places don't. And they buy a team that is just insane, and they win the title. How do you feel after that happens? You just as happy as you were in 1995?
Well, Connor, folks, this is horrible financial advice. Yeah, like, I mean, on one hand, Jack, you got the thing you hoped for, right? The thing that you've dreamed for. I would spend money
cheaper.
No, but
well,
like,
on the other hand, does it feel cheaper if you're the Dodgers, right?
No, yes. Okay, so that's the thing. This is how college sports are now. This is not cheating. You are doing what you feel like is your part, but someone had to pay the money. Now, if you're literally giving all $850 million that you won in the lottery,
if I win Powerball, I'll do this, by the way.
You are an absolute idiot. Like, invest some of that, please, Jack. Buy a new podcast studio.
Screw that. I got the I-80 Club. I got the I-80 Club. That's going to give me plenty of money.
Thank you to our patrons. Patreon.com.
You know what?
Club.
I will I'll have a pizza party, and then the rest of it goes to.
Now that is
Nebraska's
gosh, you should be a boss with those types of words, Jack. A pizza party for your employees? My God, you're getting it done. But in all seriousness, like, would it feel hollow?
3 pieces a person.
It wouldn't be hollow for me. Like, this is how the sport operates. This is how the sport operates.
Yes,
now
of course.
Val's gross. I don't know what I would do for a Cowboys Super Bowl. How much money would I spend for a Cowboys Super Bowl? Would it feel hollow? No, I don't think so. But Jerry Jones doesn't need my money. He's already really rich. It's a fascinating question, Jack.
Would we look at it different than you do? Because I don't think any Dodgers fans are feeling bad about last year.
Definitely. No, you should. Why?
I mean, for one thing, they play the Yankees, so But nonetheless,
but that's the thing. Like, this is
are Mets fans going to feel gross this year if they win it?
I don't know why anybody would. This is sports in 2025. Why?
But what I'm asking is, college still. I don't disagree with anything you're saying, but all I'm saying is, like, will that feel different in college for any reason? Maybe not. But like,
do the wins feel different for you right now, even though you know that the roster is $8, $9, $10 million spent on it, and it's going to go up? Like,
everybody they're going against is the same thing. So
why is it?
I'm just saying.
You're saying if it was $800 million,
if you had an advantage, if you basically bought a championship in a way that no one else could, or few people could. Again, the best example is look at the Dodgers. Like, that is the best thing I can come up with because of the way the baseball salary cap is organized. But yeah, I don't know.
It's a fascinating question. Yeah, and Royals.
Maybe there's a soccer thing. There might be a soccer example that's even better than that, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. They're called Manchester City, 100%. And then, all the good teams in La Liga. Royals Girl says college has been paying people for years, whether above or below the table. That's the other part about this, too. And that's why, it's so interesting, Jack, talking with you and John, because you two are always like, man, I still can't get over that this is what college sports are. And I moved so far past that, like, on day 2 of NIL 4 years ago. There are some people who cover the sport, and the verbiage of, like, announcements where it's like such and such agreed to terms with Miami because of their $3 million NIL deal. And they're like, whoa, can you believe that that's the sentence that this writer put out? I'm like, no, yes, I can believe it, because this is college sports now. We need to get past that. It's not 86 anymore, and there's actual money above board here. But maybe I'm the weirdo for not, caring about every single NIL contract that's announced. I don't know.
Yeah, no. I'm just focused on, like, how it's different between an owner of a pro team and a university / their donors, right? Who are the owners essentially of the college team, and how those could be different in various ways. So we'll see.
Well, and look, an owner of a pro team, obviously they are hoping to get, their return on investment, and that shows itself in gate receipts and in people buying hot dogs and beer at games. But it's also, in theory, if you root for a good franchise that gives a shit, it should also be about, we are paying these players to help us win games and thus win the game.
Here's the funny thing is, like, none of that is changing for Nebraska. When they weren't paying players legally, they were getting all those things, right? And now they just got to pay. They're not making any more money.
Correct.
Right?
Exactly.
Now they just have to pay, though. That's the difference.
Yeah, that's it. That's a really interesting point. They get more money from television, and I guess in theory you could raise the ticket prices, but otherwise this is now a new expense.
I mean, there is a limit on how much income you're bringing in, right? I mean, at some point there's a roof, and they were already close to it before any of this happened.
Yeah, and Jeff Sheldon points it out, it all went into coaches and facilities. And that's the other thing, too. In college sports, they spent so much money on waterfalls and stupid shit that they didn't have, but they had to do it. They had to spend money on something. So now they don't have to do that crap anymore.
That would be amazing. Are coaches' salaries going to start going down?
I think
Wouldn't
they will,
that be
man.
Interesting.
Well, Gundy has given some of his money back to go into the NIL or go into rev share. So, like, I think the answer to that question is yes. That said, though, Jack, I think Andy Reid's the highest paid NFL coach, and he makes like $20 million a year. So it's not like these exorbitant salaries are just for college coaches. NFL coaches make a shitload of money too. The good one, Harbaugh makes like $18 million. Like, that's more than any college coach makes. I think Kirby might be number one. And he's like at 12 or 13. Ryan Day's somewhere in the neighborhood at 12 or 13. Matt Rule's getting close to 8 or 9 now. Right. So Rose Girl says, look at MLB manager salaries. Honestly, don't know what does a good manager make in Major League Baseball?
And again, like in Nebraska, you have to be profitable though at the athletic department, right? Because again, you don't have an owner who can take a personal loss on it. So that's you've got to be making a profit on these things or breaking even. You can't take an L on these things financially. That's a big difference between college and professional sports. There are going to be some franchises who are not profitable, right? And I think the majority of sports franchises are profitable, but there are some that aren't. And at Nebraska, you couldn't really do that because where are you going to dip in? There's no more. You got to get more donations. You got to do something, right? And they're not going to dip into university funds, or they definitely don't want to. So that's an interesting difference too, I think, in the whole kind of comparison between pro, semi-pro, or whatever college is considered now.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I would say, Jack, that what started as the most off-the-rails podcast that we have ever
very
had,
smart. It got very dumb and then very smart.
Including the great meme of you pointing at your computer screen like an old man. So good. And then you accidentally texting your mom the other podcast that you do.
The Medicare podcast.
Oh,
I got to delete because on Apple and Macs you can delete your text though. So I deleted it.
It's very nice. It's very nice.
Does it take away the notification if you do that? Like on your home screen?
Yeah, but it will show that there was something that was deleted. So your mom will see that there was a text deleted that you sent.
Really?
So she still might ask you about it. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Right.
Coming up on the I-80 Club later this week, Mr. Jack Mitchell, you got the brunch show. Tomorrow, no pods tomorrow, Jack. Don't put it on the internet that you have a pod tomorrow.
Don't put on the internet that I'm excited about that either, because I'm definitely not.
Jack's going to get home on his Thursday night, and he's going to be like, what the hell do I do now? Maybe you'll watch Severance live, Jack, when it goes up at 8 o'clock tomorrow. You'll watch Severance.
I got to catch up. I got at least one episode to catch up on.
Yeah, well, dare to dream. Dare to dream.
Did you see State Farm is doing a commercial campaign with Severance now? It's the worst. Like Jake from State Farm and Severance.
I don't want to see this. Jeff Sheldon says, don't end the show because now I have to watch Abbott Elementary with my wife. Abbott Elementary is a great show, Jeff. You're saying that like it's a bad thing. Jack probably doesn't even know what Abbott Elementary is.
I know what it is. I don't watch network TV. I only watch cool TV.
Well, I would say Abbott Elementary.
Are you also watching like NCIS or whatever?
No, I'm not 100, Jack.
Oldies.
But Abbott Elementary is funny. It's a very funny show. No show tomorrow, but there will be brunch on Friday and then TBD on Saturday. But there will be something. Jack Mitchell and something on Saturday morning.
Even if it's just me by myself talking Medicare.
Yeah, maybe playing a game. Dave does the same thing that my wife and I do. We watch Abbott on Hulu. Yeah, we watch.
I have Hulu, but I don't watch. I'm about to cut all my. I got to pay for this water heater. I'm going to cut all my streaming services.
And we're up in the prices. This is now $50 a month on the I-80 Club. So we hope everyone's cool with that. We hope everyone's
the
cool
new tier, the water heater tier.
The water heater tier for Jack, and then I get a little cut of it too. So yeah, that's what we got coming up over the next few days after Nebraska ball as well on Saturday. I'm looking forward, Jack, to seeing how much of the game I'll even be able to watch because Riss and I are famously moving on Saturday. So we'll see if I have a chance to watch any of that. But all the pods will still get uploaded like normal. We hope everybody enjoys the next few days. And then you and I back next Wednesday, and I'll have a new look, and my TV will be in front of me. I cannot wait. to have my TV in front
Do you
of me.
think I'm the only person in America who has a Medicare pod and a live DJ show?
100%. There cannot be anybody else like you. You are incredible. You are absolutely incredible. All right, Jack, I think that's it. Is there anything else that we need to announce? I think that's
Nope.
Everything.
I'm hungry and tired, and I got to get up and do a show. So let's wrap it.
All right.
And yeah.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. For Jack, I'm Josh. Have a great night. Thanks for joining us on I-80 Live. We will talk to you later. Bye.